Today, before we are going to the stream, actually, what is the topics I took for this particular live stream is past, present, and future of biomedical engineering. So, what has happened in the past, and what is actually now the biomedical engineering progress, and what is the future biomedical engineering. So, this is what we are going to. I'm going to share my experience. What is there. So, before I enter into this, all over the world, belated Happy Christmas to everyone, and advance Happy New Year to every one of them, every one of our followers, and those who are subscribed, those who are not subscribed, those who are all biomedical engineering background, all of them, and all the others also. A Merry Christmas and advanced Happy New Year. So, coming to the topic. So here, I'm going to just talk about the past of the biomedical engineering. What is the status of the present biomedical engineering, and what is the status is going to be in the future biomedical engineering. So this is what I am going to start actually. So first of all, as per the order, we are just going to see what has actually happened in the past. Okay, so in the past biomedical engineering, something healthcare is most important for every one of the human being in the world. Every one of the people in the world requires healthcare support. So in that way, in 90s, that is in the 19th century, up to 1990, 1950 to 1990, the growth or the company's development is not as like as that of now. The list of biomedical companies is also very minimal, because in that period, healthcare support is not much required, actually required, but not as like as this today. The healthcare support is not much required in that period because of they are taking the food in that way, food mannerisms and their environment mannerisms is entirely different in the 50 to 60 years back. But now, the environment is polluted. The way of taking the food in each and every country is entirely different. The way it is very harm actually. So most of the ingredients are missed, most of the minerals, vitamins, proteins in the food is missed. So each and every one is affected by some of the small problems to the major problems. So straight away they just go to the hospital and take a medicine. But in the past, it is not happening. What is happening now? In the past days, the list of clinics, the list of hospitals, the list of biomedical engineering companies, the list of people, those who are going for the hospital visits, those who are going for the hospital for taking the medicines, is approximately, it is around, compared to present, it is only 50%. So that is why, that is the reason why, because of not requiring the healthcare support much in past periods, the biomedical companies count is also minimum. So biomedical engineers count is also minimum in past days. Up to 90s and up to 2000 we can able to take. So the role of the biomedical engineering, the status of the biomedical engineering is not actually up to the level actually. Because there is no new technologist equipments are not available. Even the doctor can able to handle the devices. Even the radiographer can able to handle the devices and repair the particular devices. But now, the technologies, modern technology we are now. But in the past, this kind of the modern technology is not there. Even the doctor can able to use the ultrasound machine individually without any support of the engineers. But that is why even the diploma graduate electronics engineering, the diploma graduate in electrical engineering also can able to appoint as a biomedical engineer in hospital, biomedical engineering companies like that. So the importance of the biomedical engineering is not up to the level in the past periods. That is in most of the countries, the count of the biomedical engineers is very minimal before 2000. This is actually the status of the past biomedical engineering, because my concluded point about the past biomedical engineering is it is not up to the level. It is not up to the level. Many of them not require a biomedical engineer. Without a biomedical engineering also, hospital is running. Without a biomedical engineering also, the help of the electronic, diploma in electrical people, diploma in electronics technology, but also the companies that run it. They manufacture it. They doesn't know about the depth of the biomedical engineering actually. That way, the past is going. But after the 2000, of course, you all will know about it. Natural disasters there each and every year. Each and every country is affected by some of the different kind of viruses. The environment is totally polluted now. So each and everybody need a healthcare support. Don't think that everyone is healthy. Today, the person thinks that I'm very healthy. The next day, because of a small, invisible virus can kill a particular person. The confidence level is getting reduced because of taking the food methodology, and because of the environment, everything is collapsed. So, now, in this situation, what is the role of the biomedical engineering? See, biomedical engineering in present conditions, of course, whatever the people require, the doctors can able to do it. Whatever actually the patients require, the doctors will tell and insist them to do this. That is okay. But the doctors can't able to predict some of the diseases. The doctor can't able to diagnose some of the disorders. That kind of the disease is also emerging now to the period of 2000. So that kind of the situation, that kind of the period, some of the external support is required for the doctor with their naked eye, with their naked hands. The doctors can't able to do any surgery. The doctor can't able to diagnose what is this actually. So the doctors actually need some of the support, some of the technical support. It may be a minor diagnosis or it may be major diagnosis. Doctors require an engineer. So that is why, when compared to 1990s, the 2000, the count of the biomedical companies is slowly increasing. The count of the biomedical engineers who are graduated is slowly increasing. The healthcare support requirement is slowly increasing. So gradually it starts increasing from the year 2000. Even most of the electrical companies, electrical manufacturing companies, electronics, home appliances manufacturing companies, they start investing their money towards the development or towards the medical device manufacturing. So that kind of the thing has also happened in the period of 2000, starting period of 2000. So in that way, you need to know about the importance of biomedical engineering. All over the world, FDA approving so many devices, medical devices for the diagnosis and therapeutic purpose. So the present situation, every biomedical engineer need to do something to the healthcare support, something to do the healthcare. Because, one example I would like to say, for example, if a major surgery is going on, it may be a bypass surgery or it may be a cancer treatment or whatever it is, major surgery is going on, if it is in the cranial or whatever. So during that particular period, only the doctors, to their help of their graduation, with their help of their knowledge, he or she can't able to do the particular surgery successfully. 100% is can't able to give a successful without an equipment support. Equipment support is must required. So it is not only a major surgery, minor surgery also nowadays the doctor is expecting something from the engineers. Doctors having the knowledge, doctors having an anatomical knowledge, of course, but doctor can find out the particular thing. Doctor can easily find out the particular thing. What is an abnormal activity happening in the human body? For that, doctors need an equipment support. So the situation is entirely changed. You know, in the 1950s, 1960s, doctors, through his knowledge and through the symptoms of the particular patient, the doctor clearly identified this is actually the person is affected by. This is the treatment we can able to give. Like that in the 1960s, 70s period, the doctor can able to say. But now, even the doctor couldn't be able to understand what is happening inside the human body. Because the thing is entirely different. The virus is entirely different. The bacteria is entirely different. The disorder is entirely giving different kind of the symptoms. Most of the disorders having the same symptoms. So the doctors get confused. So that is why, because of that particular confusion, the doctor needs all the technical support. So that kind of the technical support is given by this modern technology. That modern technology supports only improve the healthcare development from the basement to the up level. So with the help of that particular modern technology, the doctors can easily identify what is actually happening in the human body, what is actually the abnormal activity is going to happen, what happened in this particular human organ. So, what is my point of thing is, without any kind of equipment support, nowadays doctors, even though they are well known about the human anatomy, the basic diagnosis also can't be able to say without any support of the equipment. For example, everywhere I can able to say normal thermometer. Thermometer will give the exact reading of the temperature of the human body. So if you want to check the temperature of the human body also, the doctors need an equipment support. For example, it may be a cancer. For example, the person having breast cancer, with the help of the mammogram only, the doctors can able to say 100% it is cancer. Without a mammogram, the doctor can't able to. So that is what my point of view is. At present situation, the healthcare support requires biomedical engineering. Totally. When compared to 90s, compared to 80s, healthcare is completely depending on the biomedical engineering. Because the doctor is totally depending on biomedical equipment. So that is why the count of the engineers coming out is increased. The count of the biomedical companies is actually parallelly increased. But you know something? Somebody of them have a question. Then why is that? Still, biomedical graduates are struggling to find a job, even though more number of companies is there in the world. Why they are struggling to get a job? So in that point only, the mistakes is happening, exposure. Where the mistake is happening is during the studies. You know something? There are two different domains are there. One is engineering, another one is medicine. In all over the world, each and every parent think about they are giving a preference to the medicine in the top level and next to the engineering level. Okay, right? And next to the arts and science and next to the diploma like that. So we keep the particular order first as medicine. Okay, we are preferring. Why we are preferring medicine? We think that is a lifesavers. They are the lifesavers. Everyone need a healthcare support. Humans are required a healthcare support. So if my kid is studying medical, then his life is getting flashed. In my point of view, in engineering, even though there are so many domains there, electronics and communication, electrical engineering, mechanical, blah 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 blah, you need to give an importance. You need to find the variations between biomedical engineering and other domains. How far you can able to, how we can able to identify the difference between medicine and engineering is like that. You are supposed to treat as biomedical engineering is separate and all the other domain is separate. Because what is the reason why behind this? The medicine, the high level medicine, medical people, doctors, clinicians, they are totally nowadays depending on the equipment. That particular equipment is totally dealt by this engineer. So, why we are giving importance to the doctor? Because doctor is going to treat, doctor is open there with the cadaver, doctor open the heart and see what is happening inside that. This is heart, and this is a kidney, and this is brain, and this is a eye. Like that, they study. That kind of the organ is going to treat, or that kind of the organ's abnormality is going to diagnose by means of some of the equipment. That kind of the equipment is totally dealt by biomedical engineers. So in previous statement, I said that the surgery is a major role for the doctors to save the life of the people. In my point of view, in everyone's point of view, present condition, what is happening there is surgery is going to happen. Surgery, once the surgery is getting successful, we can able to save the life of the people. Of course, the doctors or the God in that particular situation, doctor is going to do the particular operation in a successful manner. See, patient, doctor. In between that, the connections, and the communications is done by or required by some of the technology. That technology is medical equipment. The patient lives need to be saved. Doctors use their intelligence. Doctor use their presence of mind. Doctor use their experience. This two particular thing is connected. Then only we can able to save the life of the patient. 100% surgery successful. That connection is done by, that medium is done by the biomedical equipment. So, what is the reason why I am telling this is, you must know about how far this particular equipments are important. So, as a doctor, the biomedical engineers also should get knowledge about human body. Along with the knowledge of the doctor should know about the electronics and electrical parts inside the equipment, because that is equipment. So both the knowledge the biomedical engineers require. At the same time, the television, it is also an electronic component. But if you are going to repair the television, is entirely different from repairing the medical equipment. If you are repairing not properly in the television, it is no issue. But if you are repairing not a proper way in the medical equipment, it causes some serious damage to the patient. So that is what my guys. So every biomedical engineering students, those who are pursuing, those who are all in present situation, they should think that the importance of the biomedical engineering. But in every college, most of the colleges we crossed over, in every universities, in every colleges, they did the mistakes, is I think, in my point of view, I'm saying the statement. They are treated, the biomedical engineers are treated as same as that of the other domain people. My point of view, biomedical engineers should be treated in a high level. Treated in a high level in the sense, give more importance to the biomedical engineer. The syllabus curriculum, it should be entirely different. What the doctors they want to study? They want to study the human organs theory. They have some practical sessions within the cadaver. They just open the heart, open the body, and see what is the organ inside it. All the things they are practically see, right? Like that. Each and every year, a biomedical engineer, those who are studying in the second year, third year, final year, need to open the machine. Need to open the machine and see what is happening inside the machine. As like as the doctor, how they can able to treat the human body, like that the biomedical engineer treat this particular machine, all this machine. So they must know about it, but rather this thing actually not happen in most of the universities. What happened actually, they keep on studying the books. They are not going to apply what they study in the book practically. Okay? So what is the thing is, the biomedical engineering syllabus should be framed in a high level when compared to the other engineering people. But in most of the universities I heard, for the biomedical engineering, they got extra money from the students, from the candidates. Then during the time of the admission, they say biomedical engineering. But they are treated same as that of other engineering people. The same assessments, the same cycle test, the same model exams, the same curriculums, the same 5 subjects, 3 practicals, only 1 projects in the final semester. What is the use of it? Because of this particular curriculum, because of this particular methodology only, most of the students, even though biomedical engineers are required in many of the companies, the students, the engineering graduate students are struggling to find out. Because the company people, they can easily understand what is actually happening in engineering domain. They are not know anything, man. They are simply study and vomiting in the exams and get the marks. That's all. So in my point of view, biomedical engineer should treat as like as the doctors. Along with the doctor studies, the biomedical engineer should study about electronics, electricals. So the curriculum should be entirely needed to change. My kind of request is each and every semester projects should be there. Each and every semester, some of the project maybe getting to a mandatory part. Project is compulsory. Project is compulsory every semester. Like that, you just do an announcement. Then see what has happened after the 2 years. Everyone can be placed. Everyone can even become an entrepreneur also, because most of the medical devices are still required to identify. You know, in ophthalmology, there are over 20 diseases out there. 20 disorders are there. You can able to point out cataract, retinal pigmentosis, diabetic retinopathy, retinal detachment. Like that, there are so many diseases out there. Most of the diseases, the doctors still they are doing the research to keep how we can able to treat the particular disease. The 50 to 60% of the diseases are still didn't have any vaccinations, they didn't have any therapeutical treatment available. You know, I have so many examples. And technically, if I want to speak about, I give an example of the retinal pigmentosa. The count of the rats is getting reduced. We are in the modern technology these days. Why we are not supposed to increase the count of the rats? So like that, most of the diseases, most of the disorders need still require some of the technical support. So, if you are doing all this particular thing mandatorily, doing the project in the third semester, doing the project in the fourth semester, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, then at the 8th semester, the students start manufacturing the product instead of project. So once you keep that particular project the last semester, as like as other engineering domain, they are going to make 1, 2, 3 in that particular situation only. They start doing the projects in that particular. If they start doing the project in the second year onwards, then during the final year, they start manufacturing the product. If you are treat this particular biomedical engineering in this way, this is happening. In the FDA approved equipment, you know, there are about 26,000 biomedical equipments are there. If you want to manufacture any of the product, there is no qualification required. Your mindset is enough. You have enough knowledge to create a product. You have enough knowledge to understand about the societies in the disabilities. Then get that particular disabilities and make some of the product to avoid, to recover the disabilities. If you do that, make the proposal and send to the approval committee. So for that, you don't have any actually qualification. The eligibility criteria is not required. So if you are all treating the engineers in this way, practical, then many of the projects, which are all the thing actually still not going to identify, this still not going to invented in the biomedical engineering, students can able to do that. So this is the present situation actually. Still, most of the biomedical engineers are required. Healthcare support is much required when compared to the previous years. Biomedical companies count is much increased when compared to the 20 years back. Even though most of the vacancies there in biomedical engineering, biomedical engineers are struggling to find out the vacancies. The reason behind this, the educational system, what they followed, should be changed. The biomedical engineers, those who are treated in the engineering domain, should be changed. They are giving a special preference, special importance, special things to the biomedical engineering. The curriculum should be not as like as some other domains. They need to be included much more. Because biomedical engineering market is not an easy way. Because they are going to help the doctors, man. They're not going to help the ungraduated people. They're going to help the doctor. Because doctors are the main customers for the biomedical engineers. They're going to sell the product, or they're going to servicing the product, or giving a demo to the doctors, whatever it may be. They are going to meet the highly graduated people in the society. So during that particular situation, how much the qualification, how much the capability the biomedical engineer should have, think about it. So if you want to create the particular capability, and what is the thing we need to adopt during their studies? Everything practically. The student should come out from their stage fear. The student should come out from their shyness. The student should speak boldly. The students give some of the updated knowledge about healthcare. Go and attend some of the, go and visit some of the hospitals in each and every semester, just to see what has happened in the society, just to see which are all the diseases coming newly. Because the doctor can able to treat, the doctors can't able to manufacturing the products. What is the engineer can able to do? If the particular engineer is supposed to go to the hospital only, they can able to identify this is the thing. Actually, the doctor can't able to do that. We are the engineers, we need to do that. We need to help the doctors. Like that, they think about it and do the particular thing, come to the college and do the particular thing mandatorily. So if the particular thing has happened, 100%, every diseases can easily identify, every disorders and diseases can be able to easily treated by the doctors, given therapeutic treatment to the doctors, to the patients. Okay, so this is what my point of view in the present situation is. So, educational system, but even though if the education systems is can't able to change, the students itself think about it and do some of the things mandatorily, do some of the things personally. So these are all the things required actually. This is a biomedical market and this is a company people actually require. So if you know about that, then try to do that. Try to do that personally and then improve your updated technical skills. That is the thing actually needed for the present situation. If you are doing that, none of them are struggling to find the biomedical jobs. Okay? Then, what is in the future situations? What is happening after 2030 in the healthcare? See, of course, everyone knows that the artificial intelligence, machine learning, the deep learning, all the things, right? So most of the companies, they start manufacturing the products. They start analyzing the signals, analyzing the images of the human bodies by the way of intelligence, that is an AI technologies. The job's role will be getting reduced. Rather the human can able to do that, the machine can able to do this. Even as a robot, of course, everyone knows that the Darwin's robots, Darwin's surgical robots, it's a cost of around about 20 crore. Without the help of the doctors, without the help of the engineers, the robot can able to do the surgery. Like that. That particular robot have some of the, you need to apply some of the programs and some of the threshold limits and microprocessor, something like that. We can able to do that and do the surgery. But if you are including the AI technology in the future, that job role is actually reduced. The time savings, the AI technology, because most of the biomedical companies, they start manufacturing each and every products with the help of the AI technologies. So, in the future, in the 2030 or the 2025 or more, 2038, every biomedical engineer should have technical aspects, exposure in the way of artificial intelligence. So they need to be ready to face the particular future. Virtual reality. Of course, everyone knows that Nowadays, the size of the machine is very large, right? If the AI technology is coming, if the virtual reality kind of the things come into the medicine, then we can able to build a multi-specialty hospital in a small area. We can, every doctor can able to sit in the room itself, they can able to treat the patient. Every patient's lives can able to easily save the time savings. Everything is going to be happening. Right? The technology is modernized, as like it's a mobile phone. In the 40 years back, what is the mobile phone is, right? Mobile phone is as like as a bricks, right? Long size. But now, the technology is entirely vast, entirely different, right? Like that, the biomedical medicines also. Nowadays, the movable MRI is also approved by the FDA. So that kind of things come in the 2030s and 2040s. Everything is coming in the pockets. We can able to keep the particular radiology machine inside the pocket is also going to happen. Without the doctor consulting, you can able to make the decision with the help of an AI technologist product. That kind of a situation is going to be happen. So, for that particular situation, for that particular thing, you will need to prepare because you are the future biomedical engineer. So, along with these particular technologies, along with this particular knowledge, you are going to compete the people in the future also. Future biomedical engineers also. So you should be prepared for that also. Okay, so that is the thing actually. Once you are supposed to build all these things in the present situation, then only you can able to compete in the future biomedical engineers. Of course, I would like to say, you know, in the 2050-60, in my assumption, 2060-70s, there is no doctor is required in the multi-specialty hospital. That is the thing actually is going to happen. There is no doctor is required. Whole multi-specialty hospital nowadays, no? Whole multi-specialty hospital, only four or five biomedical engineers there, but hundreds of doctors is there. But the situation is going to be changed in the 30 years or 40 years. Biomedical engineers count is increased in the hospital. The doctor's count is getting reduced. Because the machine can do what the doctor will do. That kind of a situation is going to be happen in our coming years. So for that, you are supposed to, because totally technology. So in my point of view, in the doctors, in the previous studies, we are going to study only the human organs, right? Human organs like that. So in my point of view, because of this particular technological improvement, maybe the world give some of the technological supports or technological related syllabus also to the MBBS doctors. The doctors are going to study the electronics. The doctors are going to study the artificial intelligence because the situation is there. You need to adopt over that. Maybe the situation is coming. So, in the future biomedical, the thing, suppose you all know that Corona 2, Corona 3, then Omicron, all the things is going to happen. In upcoming years, the environment is totally polluted. Everyone is affected by, maybe everyone will be affected by different sort of the diseases. So for that, predictions for that kind of the disease is going to be diagnosed by the way of different sort of the emissions, new technologies to medicine. So for that, the doctors also need to be getting a knowledge. So maybe the doctor is going to be study AI, electronics, electricals, maybe. So even the doctor is going to study the technology, electrical, electronics and AI. Then what the biomedical engineers need to do? They need to study much more than the other doctors. So there are more things going to happen. Right? So the future biomedical engineering, nowadays, what are all the importance we are supposed to give the doctors? In the 2030-40s, everyone, even the doctors, is totally depending on the technology. In that technology, who is the top, who is the leader, who is the captain? Biomedical engineers are the captain. When the biomedical engineers are the instructions providers, the doctors follow the instructions. Because the rotary technology, the doctor doesn't know about the newly modern technologies. The doctors can able to deal with only the human organs. So you are supposed to be in the future. Biomedical engineers are totally on top. They are giving instructions to the doctors to do this and that. Which one is do's and which one is don't do. So that kind of a situation is also going to happen. So you are all the engineers. Present engineers is going to face the future biomedical engineers. Then how much amount of knowledge you should have. If you are doing the same thing what you have did in the past, the same engineering syllabus, same theoretical subjects, if you are studying, then how we can able to face the future biomedical engineers. If you want to deal them, if you want to face, if you want to compete with the future biomedical engineers, nowadays also you are supposed to give a homework much more, updated knowledge, updating some of the knowledge, what is happening in the future. According to that, you can make a rehearsal on it, you can make a role on it, you can make a plan on it. So that is what I say. So this is what actually the thing happened. So there are so many machines out there nowadays. In the 60s, 70s, 1960s, 70s, 90s, there is no machines as like this. So the 3D printing is there, some of the ophthalmological equipment is there. Everything is newly technologized to make sense. Okay? Everything is newly technologized. So this particular thing is further technologized in upcoming 10 years or upcoming 15 years. So for that you are going to participate. Then that you are going to be competent with that during that period engineers. So for that you should have updated skills. So that's what my kind statement is that every engineering graduates, apart from graduates, the college managements, the university syllabus holders, the university syllabus framers, everybody think about the future of biomedical engineers. Because everyone is needed healthcare support. For that, biomedical engineers are going to be top in 10 to 15 years. Biomedical engineering companies is going to be a top revenue generating company in our coming years. So for that, if you are going to give importance to the biomedical engineering much more, then only the students can able to understand about what is really happening in the healthcare field. How far we require, how far we need to update ourselves. That kind of a thing you need to give. According to that, apart from all the engineering domain, the separate syllabus framing is needed. The separate curriculum is required. The separate strategy you need to follow. As in my point of view, you can able to increase 1 year also. As like as a doctor in the final year, they are going for a house surgeon, right? Like that. The biomedical engineers also do the house surgeon in the last year to the companies. So if that thing happen, then definitely biomedical engineers solely and they are easily competent with the future biomedical engineers. Okay, I hope so. This is the point I need to share. So many messages. So this is the point actually I need to share with you. So future biomedical engineering, present biomedical engineering, past biomedical engineering. If you are in the past biomedical engineering, no worry. If you are in the present biomedical engineering, try to compete and try to improve yourself to face the future biomedical engineering. Because the future biomedical engineers have a much amount of knowledge regarding the newly modernized technologies. Okay, so thank you very much for your presence, and thanks very much those who are all in the live stream. Thanks a lot and all the best.